Hi there, today we visit Israel. Israel, officially known as the State of Israel, is a country in Western Asia. It is situated on the southeastern shore of the Mediterranean Sea and the northern shore of the Red Sea, and shares borders with Lebanon to the north, Syria to the northeast, Jordan on the east, the Palestinian territories of the West Bank, and the Gaza Strip to the east and west, and Egypt to the southwest. The flag of Israel was adopted on October 28, 1948, 5 months after the establishment of the State of Israel. It depicts a blue hexagram on a white background, between two horizontal blue stripes. The design recalls the tallit, the Jewish prayer shawl, which is white with black or blue stripes. The symbol in the center represents the Star of David, a Jewish symbol dating from late medieval Prague, which was adopted by the First Zionist Congress in 1897. The seat of government, and proclaimed capital of Israel, is Jerusalem, although international recognition of the state's sovereignty over the city is limited. Jerusalem is a city in Western Asia on the plateau in the Judean Mountains, between the Mediterranean and the Dead Sea. It is one of the oldest cities in the world, and is considered holy to the three major Abrahamic religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. The Israeli new shekel, also known as simply the Israeli shekel, is the currency of Israel and is also used as a legal tender in the Palestinian territories of the West Bank and the Gaza Strip. The new shekel is divided into 100 agora. The total area of the State of Israel is 22,145 square kilometers, of which 21,671 square kilometers is land area. The current population of Israel is 8,838,398 as of November 2021, based on Worldometer elaboration of the latest United Nations data. The Israeli population is linguistically and culturally diverse. Hebrew is the country's official language, and almost the entire population speaks it either as native speakers or proficiently as a second language. Hatikvah, meaning the hope, is a 19th century Jewish poem and the national anthem of Israel. The theme of the romantic composition reflects the Jews' 2,000-year-old hope of returning to the land of Israel and reclaiming it as a free and sovereign nation. Its lyrics are adapted from a poem by Naftali Herz Imber. The geography of Israel is very diverse, with desert conditions in the south and snow-capped mountains in the north. Southern Israel is dominated by the Negev Desert, covering some 16,000 square kilometers, more than half of the country's total land area. The north by the Israeli-occupied part of the Mount Hermon Massif, which includes the highest point under Israel's control, a peak of 2,224 meters. The highest point in territory internationally recognized as Israeli is Mount Meron at 1,208 meters. al-hiri is an ancient megalithic monument consisting of concentric circles of stone with a tumulus at center. It is located in the Israeli-occupied portion of the Golan Heights, Syria, some 16 kilometers east of the coast of the Sea of Galilee, in the middle of a large plateau covered with hundreds of dolmens. Made up of more than 42,000 basalt rocks arranged in concentric circles, it has a mound 15 feet tall at its center. Some circles are complete, others incomplete. The outermost wall is 520 feet in diameter and 8 feet high. The establishment of the site, and other nearby ancient settlements, is dated by archaeologists to the early Bronze Age II period, 3000 to 2700 BC. Israel leads the world in the proportion of water it recycles. Israel treats 80% of its sewage, and 100% of the sewage from the Tel Aviv metropolitan area is treated and reused as irrigation water for agriculture and public works. In 2012, the Dan Region Wastewater Treatment Plant was cited as a global model by the United Nations. The plant, known locally as Shafton, was lauded for its unique method of using the natural filtration qualities of sand to improve the quality of sewage. In 2020, Israel was the 8th most expensive country in the world to live in. Switzerland came in at number 1. Tel Aviv was named the 5th most expensive city in the world to live in, according to the Economist Intelligence Unit. Zurich, Paris and Hong Kong came in before Tel Aviv. The Mount of Olives is a mountain ridge east of and adjacent to Jerusalem's Old City. It is named after the olive groves that once covered its slopes. The mount has been used as a Jewish cemetery for over 3,000 years, making it one of the oldest, continuously used cemeteries in the world. It holds approximately 150,000 graves, making it central in the tradition of Jewish cemeteries. Several key events in the life of Jesus, as related in the Gospels, took place on the Mount of Olives, and in the Acts of the Apostles, it is described as the place from which Jesus ascended to heaven. Because of its association with both Jesus and Mary, the Mount has been a site of Christian worship since ancient times and is today a major site of pilgrimage for Catholics, the Eastern Orthodox, and Protestants. Good Deeds Day is an international day of volunteering. Beginning in 2007, its mission is to unite people from around the world in doing good deeds for others and the planet. This day of community service was launched in 2007 in Israel by businesswoman and philanthropist Shari Arison through Ruach Tova, a non-profit organization. Approximately 7,000 people participated in Israel in 2007. In 2017, the 11th annual Good Deeds Day, approximately 2,500,000 participants from 93 countries volunteered, marking it the largest and most global day yet. The world's largest underground hospital is the Sami Ofer Fortified Underground Emergency Hospital in northern Israel. The project includes a 3-floor parking lot that can be transformed within 72 hours into a 2,000-bed hospital. The hospital can generate its own power and store enough oxygen, drinking water, and medical supplies for up to 3 days. Israeli automotive company, City Transformer, has developed an electric cars that can shrink in size to squeeze into parking spots. The car is 1 meter wide, and has a top speed of 55 miles per hour, with a claimed range of 111 miles. Trail Angels are members of a voluntary organization along the Israel National Trail, INT, who open their homes for hikers on the INT. There are places that charge low prices for accommodations. In some places, you can have breakfast for a low fee. Israel became the first country to ban underweight models in March 2012. Their law stipulates that women and men hired as models must be certified by a physician as having a body mass index, BMI, of no less than 18.5. The legislation also requires the inclusion of an informational note in adverts using photos manipulated to make models look thinner. Sufganiyah is a round jelly donut eaten in Israel and around the world on the Jewish festival of Hanukkah. The donut is deep-fried in oil, filled with jam or custard, and then topped with powdered sugar. In modern Israel, over 18 million sufganiyot are consumed in the weeks around the holiday, which averages out to over 3 donuts per citizen. The hoopoe was chosen as the national bird of the Israel in May 2008 in conjunction with the country's 60th anniversary, following a national survey of 155,000 citizens. In September 2007, the olive was elected as the national tree of the State of Israel, and as its official representative in the botanical exhibition, We Are One World held in Beijing. In November 2013, the Society for the Protection of Nature in Israel and Ynet arranged a larger poll in which the poppy anemone was elected as Israel's national flower. The most popular sports in Israel have traditionally been football and basketball, with the first being considered the national sport. Israel does not have a universally recognized national dish. In previous years, this was considered to be falafel, deep-fried balls of seasoned, ground chickpeas. Street vendors throughout Israel used to sell falafel. It was a favorite street food for decades, and is still popular as a metzeh dish. Here are some beautiful visuals from Israel. Enjoy. Thank you for joining us in our journey to explore our world. We hope to see you again. Please subscribe.